Alright, well, welcome to our setup for our main game. No more little skirmishes. As big as all those units were in our last game, that was just a skirmish. So we're going to have to see how the rest of this major battle comes out. Now we are going to go from the frying pan to the fire and go straight to the battle. This is the campaign game. I'm not much on scenarios. I mean, I guess I could be learning, but we want to dive right into the main game and start when it starts at 8 a.m. There you go. Give you a little look here. We're going to do a little bit of shifting because this is a in-your-face big real estate map and game. Big footprint. Bigfoot footprint, that's for sure. So we had to do a little bit of reorganizing. And another main thing is when you got to clean up from the last game, you have to get all the units in one pile and clean everything up. It really wasn't that bad. I mean, maybe 15 minutes from the little skirmish game here, but our order of battle is ready to go. We're down here. We got getting ready to put our first units on, making sure we understand the rules, unlike our skirmish game where we're battling for real estate. And Eli, the Russians, by the way, were able to hold on to their town. And the French, I think, just got this hex right here. That's the only hex we got. So it was definitely tough. And you can see the town is actually, all this white is the hills, and the gray part are more of the flatlands and the lowlands. Yeah, these are more hills upon the hills. I think we read that. We read it a little different. It just depends on which way you want to read it. But there you go. We're getting ready to set up the guard division first. There you go. Going down the list. It's going to be a big battle. And reinforcements to come in. Now, give you a little background on this. Go down here. I got a little map of the situation. Here you go, Sweden. I guess this is the Baltic Sea here. And more of the mainland here, Danzig and Kongsberg. This whole deal is about winter attrition, and the Russians being out here in the winter looking for supplies at Danzig. So they started coming this way towards Danzig. On their way there, they ran into old Bernadette and the French that were lined up this way. I think they outnumbered them and wanted a little bit of a battle. So they headed down this way after him. Bernadette, knowing he was outnumbered, scored a little slight victory around this area here. Was able to scoot and get away. And the Russians chased after him. Now Napoleon, seeing all this strategically, wanted to, all the Russians are moving this way. He had Agaro, Sioux, and Debu down here. Wanted to kind of get the Russians as they were coming here. Wanted to shoot these boys here on up this way and cut them off and chew them all up. Now Ney initially came on up here with a little battle, but he prematured it. Napoleon yelled at him and said, "Get your ass back there." So he got his ass back here and joined the general retreat. And the Russians were heading on down, French heading on up. There's going to be a trap set to be sprung. There's a lot of rain, though, that hindered French movements. Plus, Napoleon's messenger was caught. Gave the Russians a whole plan. They knew what was going on and that the French were coming up behind them. So Bennington retreated, learned of the plan, and got his ass back here. The only thing is, you can only retreat so much. He had lost the key supply point in the city of Kongsberg. So he chose to make a stand. Now, there were also some Prussian troops here. So when the battle started, there were 66,000 Russians. But he knew he had 9,000 Prussians that could come to his aid. Meanwhile, the French had 45,000 with 30,000 underneath May and Davoo that could come into play. You have to excuse my little paper here. We got the heater on. It's summertime, but it's always cold here in GWG land. So anyway, there you go. And here's where he will make his stand. Now, we just got done fighting for night quarters. It's got nothing to do with it, but the Russians held. But this is a new game, and it is all dependent upon army fatigue cubes. The object of this game is going to be to knock down your opponent's will to fight. When our fatigue cubes get to a certain point, they all hit the road and bail. So forget about, I think certain victory objectives come into play for the exchange of army fatigue points. So if you capture a town from the Russians, you get them. If they capture a town from you, they get them. So on and so forth. But it's all about the fatigue of the army and when they break. All right, that's a quick little synopsis. We got everything set to go. We arranged over here. Big game, big game. Big coat. Yeah, you don't want to be wearing this game in a china shop because you'll be knocking everything down with the big game. We are getting into Sound of Drums. And again, I will say it again, the components of my game really sucked. I was short of a lot of stuff. I had to go do a lot of extracurricular activities to get the game to where I could actually play it. And hopefully they get it all straightened out because I got a good system. We're really enjoying it, so we're making the most of a bad situation. All right, that is it. We are getting ready for our campaign game. A whole new deal. We got command range and everything else. Kind of a little miniatures flavor to it with hex encounters. Still on out here. We're down here watching history on the battle and watching old Stuka Joe. Great videos. That makes it easy to learn the game. We'll be back with the setup. Got to get this game ready to go. Got a lot of setting up to do, and we got the gist. We learned a little bit of tactics in our pre-game, and we're getting ready. What to do? We'll be right back. All right, now a little bit more before we start. We're looking at this map here. Ooh, make sure we're doing this right. North, south, east, west. Hold on for a quick cough break. And yeah, let's use the zoom feature over here. And yeah, we got it right. Oh, that's as far as it'll go. Oh, I know it's better than that. Come on. It's a flip phone. All right, yeah, we're right. North, south, east, and west on the map. North going this way. All right, so give you a little bit more before we start this up and get the units on here. In our previous game, our little learning game, skirmish game, French came in this way. Russians were pretty well set up for them. We had my Russian units, I think they had to be like a few hexes back, but we were set up for them on this hill. I don't want to deny them here. This here is what it is. Hard not to crack going straight to this town. Now, our game ended at 6 p.m. I guess on the 7th, I'm not really sure, but just at 6 p.m. It was dark, and the Russians were able to hold on to this hilltop village of Eylau, and it was quite the task, or quite the chore for the French to fight uphill. We were able to get one of these hexes down here amongst the flats. At 6 p.m., we ended our game with the Russians holding the town of Eylau. Now, historically, this is where it comes in with our campaign start up here. The Russians did hold, but they were ordered to pull back at 10 p.m. that night. So we didn't do nothing, no different than history did. And at 10 p.m., they headed on back. And they were to join the main army out here. So we'll we're getting ready to deploy as per historically. First one's going to be the guard, and they do have it marked around here. Let's see if I can find this real quick. Oh, where did I see that? Let me press pause. It's hard to see even. Is that this? Not the CD. Second. CD. Gotta find it here. Let me see. Let me press pause again. All right, there it is. We got these points all set up around the map, and it's hard to find. Even zoomed in, but within 8 hexes, I'll start my deployment. And French Guard will be within 8 hexes of this area. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, that's pretty far. Is that right? Let me see here. Press pause. I stand corrected. 18 units within 5 hexes, but still. There you go. There's the spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nice little radius. That gives you definitely a good choice. So this has absolutely nothing to do with what happened historically. This battle will in no way resemble that. Each one of these games, and like I said, this is a game, will be different because of the mechanics and the way the game's set up. But it'll be interesting to see, according to the rules and Lady Luck, how this one turns out. Now, our last one turned out historically, so I don't know how far the French actually got, but we didn't veer off, so everything kind of went the way it went. So we'll find out. We are going to, this will be the before, you can see it here. When we come back, I guess we'll have the after. We will deploy the guard, and the Emperor, I think, has to be somewhere with him. There you go, before the battle. As a dawn, sun rose the next day, and by the way, the weather will be clear. And we have some Stuka Joe weather reminders. We'll be right back. Alright, well, also, real quick, they do have a nice little historical background about the Grand Campaign and how it took place during the Fourth Coalition of the Napoleonic Wars. You can read all this. Basically says the same thing I just said, how more strategically Napoleon was going after the Prussians, we just totally smashed. And the Austrian armies. But there you go. Russians are going to try to attempt a counteroffensive now. In all fairness, I think it did say in here they got it as more of as a French victory in Eylau. But from what I'm seeing from my research, I think it was a combination of maybe a French victory because of the we had to stop our game at 6 p.m. I think later on the Russians were going to be overwhelmed and they were told to withdraw. So it is what it is. I don't know about the specifics, and I don't think anywhere you could find out actually what areas are. I'm sure you could somewhere, but I've researched it and you can't really find out how far in town they got. But we're going to stick with the fact that the Russians held the town and pulled out, and I think that's basically what they're saying here also. All right, when we come back, we're going to start to deploy according to the scenario rules. Enough jabbering. Be back with the deployment ready for the battle. All right, we're getting ready to deploy. They're starting off with the guard. I don't know about their deployment spot, but we'll see how everything goes. Oh, here we are. Within 5 hexes. Right here. Little tally sticks got their little line of, you can see this little line here. Little hexes, that's as far west as the guard can go. And again, 5 hexes this way, so you can kind of get the idea of where we're going to deploy them. We're going to find out tactically how to deploy them. I can't believe I can't get to the very edge, but well, it is what it is. And they're the reserve anyway. I don't think we'll be using them right away, but you never know. Now let's look at the guard. And their general. And pardon my French, as we say, but it is Basirs and his Egyptian Mamelukes. You can see the only difference I'm seeing here is they're quite weak if they're supposed to be elite guards, but I don't know if I don't see any special. I never did see any special modifiers for them, but there they are. I guess they stay next to their general, or supposedly his personal guard. They are a cavalry, or are they on camels? Who knows now? I think they're cavalry. They're known for the horsemanship. So there you go. They're also elite. All these units get the 2 stripes. Let's go down the line here now. The guard I'm noticing, and this is just initial observation, is mostly made up out of chasseurs and grenadiers. That's it. They're most the toughest units are chasseur cavalry. You know, we're looking at 2 strength points. That's how many hits they can take before they run. And they can go 8 axes, so 8 speed. Guard grenadiers, cavalry. A little bit more cumbersome. Oh, can only go 7. But they are actually stronger in number by 1 strength point than the chasseurs. So there you go. Say hello to the French Guard cavalry. Alright, next will be the French infantry, which is also chasseurs. 5 hex range. Less able to take losses. And French Guard Grenadier infantry. And again, more cumbersome. Not able to move as fast. And a nice battery of artillery. Wow, I'm impressed. There you go. And they're on their unlimbered side, but when they're limbered, they can do their movement unlimbered and squeeze off a shot. So you get yourself a nice little grand battery here. But again, we'll be keeping these boys in reserve, I think, is the way it's done. You never know. I might attack with them first thing. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, well, welcome back. It has been a while, and we are set up and ready to go for our, they call it the grand campaign. I don't know how much of a campaign it was. It was only 1 battle, but we're going from the skirmish and the, what you call it, the pre-game, the practice game, the learning game of the battle for the night quarters in Eylau. Some history behind it, whether it was an ordered battle or whether it was just a bunch of troops, as the battle name implies, seeking shelter from a storm. Night quarters is what the battle was. But we are done with that. We're all fully deployed and ready to start our main game. All the bells and whistles, all the optional rules. Ain't many optional rules, really. I've been over it and we're ready to go. But yeah, quite the number of forces to be deployed. When I first began to deploy the forces, I deployed the French, and then I brought on the Russians. And after I seen how the Russians were deployed, I made some adjustments to the French deployment. But yeah, it was quite the, I think I spent the last, at least last week or so, a few minutes here and there. It's, like I said, we started our skirmish game. I think let me see this. I ended up buying this game. I got it for Christmas. Got it with a gift card, and I think around February. As a matter of fact, around February 7th is when we started our Battle for Night Quarters learning game. And we just finished that a few weeks ago, so it tells you how many minutes a day we get to actually play, which ain't much, but you know, we do have a good time. But right now, We're all deployed and ready to go, and let me show you how it looks on a gaming table. And here you go. We are deployed. I don't even know if my zoom will come out that far. There we go. There we go. Here we go. There you go. We're all deployed and ready to go. And wow, our last game took place just around these areas right here. And we've got quite the forces. I was surprised. Number one is how close the Russians were. I thought they were deployed back here somewhere, but they were right up on it, right here at Eylau. As a matter of fact, some of these spots are only a hex away. Yeah, we got all kinds of forces here. We got identifying markers, tags. I'll show you what they all are and how the battle's going to begin. But there you go. Fully deployed. This game here will be all about these cubes in these two spots. You can see the Russians definitely have an advantage, and which are called army fatigue cubes. So they have a lot more. You see endurance to start off with than the French, and as you can see here, we can zoom in a little bit. French are a little bit outnumbered to begin with. Now there's a plan. I have been wargaming the war game and checking things out, but yeah, this is how we're going to start. As I said to begin with, we started with the French deployment. Now you can't see it here, and we'll zoom on in, but the French 4th Corps is basically who's out here in front lines. I think their 7th Corps is also in there. There you go. And I will give you a little beginning of the deployment. We'll come right in here. The deployment will begin with the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd Dragoons. Ooh, there you go. 1st Dragoons comprises of these units here. And that'll be the 1st Dragoons. These markers here are important hexes for capturing. If the Russians capture these markers, they gain endurance cubes. And if the French capture the Russians' markers, they get cubes. I can't remember, command cubes or fatigue cubes. That's all a matter of the cubes. Now here you go. This will be the 2nd Division. You can see them down here. It's their mark, 2nd DD. And we had certain deployment areas, marshalling areas, I guess is what you want to call them. Let's see if I can get this out of here. So these areas here, you can actually see one of them was marked here. The 2nd Cuirassiers Division had to be within 3 hexes of this marker. So there you go. 1, 2, 3, and there's the marker. 1, 2, 3, there's the marker. There have 3 hexes between them. Here's some other markers. You can see here that we're probably quite a ways away from the marshalling areas. It's all about the strategy, but this is Murat's big old cavalry charge, I guess. And it will take Murat 2 activations to even get these guys going, so it takes a while for everybody to get gathered up in an order. But yeah, special rules to activate Murat's cavalry. Here is the 2nd Cuirassier Heavy Cavalry. Again, we wanted to get them up there. We didn't want to get no penalty for going up the slope, so everybody ready to go. Now this is the Cavalry Reserve under Murat, and then we have, I don't know who the commander is, the division commanders underneath him. But we also have the current orders for each division. So this division here will be hold, on hold. You can see here again, all these units' initial orders will be on hold. Now these orders markers here will be transferred onto the board over there, and then their little individual numbers will come in play for initial fatigue for all their orders that they've been given. You can see hold don't really take no fatigue, and then initiative, hold really don't give them no initiative either, but we have other orders. So here you go, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd Dragoons, and the 2nd Cuirassiers in their areas as deployed at my discretion. There are some, they give you you have to be within a certain amount of areas, but there you go. Next, we come up here, we have we'll start with the 4th Corps. And there's one thing that's weird, because the 4th Corps is here. Here's the 1st Division of the 4th Corps, the units that are in red. And it also, you can kind of see what the opening strategy is, because the French units aren't deployed in column. And they are heading somewhere. You can see where the Russians are all in line and in defense. But yeah, we got all of our units in column ready to move on out. And like I said, 4th Corps here, but also the main part of the 4th Corps is down here. So I don't know why they deployed there. 3rd Division, 4th Corps, 2nd Division, 4th Corps. And again, here's a 4th Corps commander. This will all come into play when it comes in order, certain distances. But yeah, in column also. And heading to the left, heading this way. I had a chance to adjust their deployment after I seen how the Russians were deploying the Russians. Hold on, let me take a little quick cough break real quick. Alright, the Russians got to fight the deployment. Yeah, it's definitely the Russians' battle to lose, and the French are up against it, but the French do have reinforcements coming, which we've already strategized the battle, and that'll come into play. But here you go. 2nd Division, 4th Corps here. 3rd Division, 4th Corps. And here's our cavalry, 4th Corps Cavalry Reserves. Hold on a second, he's been moved. Alright, and again, all the orders for each division here. These boys here are all in strategic move. So we'll see what that kind of order reflects on their initiative and fatigue. Strategic move. Each division gets its own orders. There you go. And again, these are called victory point hexes. In standard military games, they serve the same purpose here, but they're used differently. So there you go. There's 4th Corps. Now, of course, old Napoleon got himself a nice little shelter from the storm that night. And here's the Guard. The Guard are mostly on. We'll look at their order. They're on a hold order also. We'll be doing so. We have a bunch of them in column. Artillery limbered. There you go. Some grenadiers. Mostly in column. I initially deployed the French in column because I figured they'd be moving. I want to get where they're going, and I'm going to leave them like that. So there's the Guard. You come over here, and this is about it. Oops. The 7th Corps has the right wing. 1st Division. They are also in column heading to the right. Yeah, but if you were the Russians, you'd be looking at this going, okay, I can kind of see what's going on here. There you go, more 7th Corps. And 7th Corps commander is with the divisional commander. Down here, but here is the 2nd Division. 1st Division of the 7th Corps. Up here, the 1st Division, the 4th Corps, for some reason, all the way on the right. That is it for the French. And we will have major reinforcements coming from I believe the north edge around this town here, and from this edge here. There's quite a bit of reinforcements coming. I think, as a matter of fact, do I have that wrote down here still? No, I got rid of it. Yeah, that are the numbers of reinforcements that were coming. All right, that is it now for our Russians. Whew, look at this. All right, oh, hold on a second. There's a breeze blowing, and all these little stands here are quite light. Hold on a second. All right, starting with I guess the Russian left wing is the Vajevu division. There is his cavalry, and his division is all along here. So Vajevu deployed up on the edge of the hill, edge of the plateau. You can see he's got quite the artillery going on there, already within a hex or two of these units here. So it's going to start off with a bang. And everything to keep in mind with this battle is going to be key is the weather. We get one clear turn for this first turn, but then snowstorms and everything else is going to be a major factor. So this battle here is unlike most in the times. I don't know how it got more in the Napoleonic era, but earlier in the Middle Ages, you had your fighting season, which was a spring and summer. Then everybody went home in fall to do their crops, but for some reason they're battling in the winter and in Russia, so there he goes. Here's the Bajevo division deployed along this way. We come back here, we have the light left-wing artillery reserve. Here are all these boys here. I believe we have more of them up this way, too. So there you go. They're on defend, all these defend orders. Back here we got the left-wing cavalry reserve. There you go, and here's what hex that the French would like to have. We might be fighting for that hex right away, or that might be one of our main objectives. There you go, left-wing cavalry reserve. Cavalry units are 1 unit per hex. Infantry could have 2. And with the artillery, you can see here with our left-wing cavalry reserve, I have the mobile artillery, or rather the artillery reserve, limbered. They can go. These ones here protected. Next we have the 3rd Division. You come down here and see their little markers. 3rd Division all the way up here until we get into the left-wing artillery reserve. So here's a little line, artillery reserve here. And we got them sprinkled in here a little bit too, 3rd Division, but 3rd Division, Russian 3rd Division right here. Alright. Then we kind of comes in and merges with the 8th Division on his right wing. And then set up with artillery. You can see all the unlimbered artillery. For Russia's definitely got the artillery advantage for a change. This is the center artillery reserve, but I have them right out here in front. Now, some of these have infantry with them. You don't want to suffer the artillery alone penalty when they're charged. That's a -5 or +5, whatever gives the attacker the advantage. But yeah, so we do have infantry with our artillery. This artillery is heavy artillery, and their strength points are times 4 if you're right next to them. So quite the little artillery. As soon as you come over this edge, bang. So they're set up that way, and this was all set up to my discretion. Like I said, they give you marshalling or set up areas. 8th Division right behind them, ready to go. Also with his own artillery. Let's see here. Alright, next coming on over, let's go up this way. 2nd Division, just deployed behind. I mean, there's rows and rows of these guys. It's ridiculous. You come out here, make sure we're not missing anybody. There you go. We're moving towards the Russian center. The Russian center is killer. We're going to set up. Not only do we have our artillery here, more artillery units here, more artillery here. This artillery here, this different color, is from the 2nd Division. The 2nd Division's backed up here. We go to, we'll start in the back here, center cavalry reserve, 14th Division. In column, ready to move. Right wing artillery reserve. Now this is a killer reserve right here, the right wing artillery reserve. These are all heavy artillery. You can see they're up here on this edge. Here's a little like flat land, and we're just covered. We got it all covered. If you get over here or anything. Alright, and they merge in with the 7th Division, which is on the roads, columned up, ready to move on out when they're ready, if they need be. 7th Division, we have the 5th Division here along the edge, and this is artillery. His units are right there, a hex away from 2nd Division, 4th Corps. So we'll see, let's just see how they're set up. 5th Division, 3rd Division on his, or 3rd Division. Where's the 3rd Division at here? Make sure I got all this right. Let me see here. Zoom on in. Is that 3rd? It might be 5th, and I'm not reading it right. Yeah, it's 5th Division. Okay. I think I did that earlier, too. All right, yeah, this is all 5th Division units here. They're the first line of defense. 4th Division. Here. Everybody with their defend order. 4th Division. Come back here. We have the right wing cavalry reserve. Again on the road, ready to move out. More of them right here. There you go. Again with their, I think he's got a hold order here. We're just going to hold them back. And over here, coming on into the rescue, is the Markov division. And his boys are all columned up, artillery limbered and ready to move. Zoom on out. There you go. That is it. Now we have the orders already assigned, like I said. Let's have them set up here next to each division to show you how it works. But each division gets their order to defend, and these two numbers here have to do with who gets the initiative and how much fatigue the orders give the whole army. That is represented by these fatigue cubes. Black are 10, gray equals 1, 210 to 220. Russians got 220. French have 210 fatigue points, and they will go down as the battle goes on. And the winner or loser is whoever drains the other guys' will to fight. That's basically it. We're all set to go, eager to go, ready for the battle. When we come back, we'll be going through the phase, the orders phase, or the they're gonna brain lock the order of battle, or let me pause here. Sequence of play is what I'm looking for. All right, there you go. It's been a while, like I said. It's taken me about a good week to set this all up from our massive orders of battle cards. Wow. But we're here, we're ready to play, excited to play, excited to start. Looking at this deployment from the French point of view, yeah, we want nothing to do with the center. Hence, why all these units are in column and heading this way. Strategic move will enhance or extend their movement, but I'm sure it's going to have an effect on their fatigues. But that's the only thing we can think of right now as the French, is to get around these corners. Don't know about these orders here. We might change these, but to activate this huge cavalry, I think we have to pull one cube to activate them, and then another cube actually gets them going. So it's a matter of getting everybody on the same page and heading on out. There you go. When we come back, we will be, let me see here. Going through the orders phase. Like I said, I already got them on here. We'll be transferring them over to these cards. Then we'll be adding up their values to find out who moves first and how many activation cubes we put into the bag. All set to go for the main ELAO campaign. We're back.